Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Play It Loud, where today we are going to be playing some Atarisoft games loud. Now, about a month ago, I did a video about some Sega PC conversions, and these were a sort of forerunner to that almost. These are very old games. They are all so old, in fact, they all run in CGA, yeah, so it goes back a long way. CGA, for those who aren't aware, was the color graphics adapter. Bad command off on him. CGA was a color graphics adapter which could display a palette of 4 out of what was essentially 8 colors with another 8 brightness variations. So it was a very limited form. There were technically 2 palettes, but again, because of the brightness variations, you could use it as up to 4 palettes. Nearly all of these use what is the classic brown palette. I always kind of viewed them as the brown, red, blue and cyan palettes, or magenta palettes. I don't know that any of these actually run on the magenta palette, but I will show you an example of it before we go. So let's start with something a bit classic, and we'll go from there. I'll explain what Atarisoft is or was, and why it's interesting. So this is PacMan, converted to the PC in 1983 by Atarisoft, which was essentially a way for Atarisoft to make, Atari in general, to make a quick buck. Atari were struggling for money at the time. They were pretty much trying to find any way they could cash in on what they already had, and what they had was the licenses to a bunch of the biggest hit arcade games of the time. And this was one of them. They, of course, had snapped up the license to PacMan very early on in the piece, and so they converted it to pretty much everything, and then followed this up with conversions of countless arcade classics, their own and other companies. And we're going to have a look at the IBM PC versions today. Might also put out a video this week as well. I've got some of the Commodore 64 versions, which came when I bought my Commodore 64, or rather it was given to me. The software it included the Atarisoft collection. So the first thing you may notice is the absolutely horrendous PC speaker sound. It's brutalizing, but as an emulation of the arcade game, I've heard worse. Certainly much better than something like, say, the Atari 2600 conversion, and actually the gameplay is much better than that conversion as well. And so it should be. I mean, that conversion was appalling. As a conversion of PacMan, it's not bad, but it does suffer from what several conversions of PacMan did, which is repetitive mazes. The maze stays the same every level, or it has as far as I can tell. Now, when I quit out of this, it's going to actually, I'm going to have to cut away, because this is actually what's called a PC booter game. All these Atarisoft games were PC booters, which means that, oh, that was my own stupid fault. Which means that instead of loading them up in an operating system, which you can do and which I am doing, you actually could just put them in to whatever your boot drive was, your A drive, and it would boot up your computer off the game disk. So it didn't require an operating system. It could work with any IBM PC compatible, regardless of whether you were running DOS or CPM or whatever your choice of OS was. So that was nifty. The game does get faster each level. The ghosts get faster, it gets more challenging, but the mazes don't change. So this is not the greatest port of PacMan, and to be honest with you, there's another rather good port done by Orion Software around this same time called PacMan, which is well worth a look. So yeah, this is the first one, and yeah, the reason why it's those colours is because, well, that's the colours that the CGA palette had. So that's PacMan, and now I'm going to reboot, and we're going to have a look at another one of the Atarisoft games. Okay, right. So this is Donkey Kong, and oh my god, brace yourself. Yes, that's actually what Donkey Kong looks like in this. Uh, it's it's what can charitably be said about this conversion of Donkey Kong? Not a lot. It's terrible. It's just god awful. Again, I can't get the joystick to work with this one. I've tried to get the joystick to work with most of these games, but my QuickShot has had it, and some of them could work with an Xbox 360 pad, some of them could not. So yeah, got to control it with the keyboard. Otherwise, basically, you have virtually no control. As it is, you still have virtually no control because if you aren't hitting, if you will continue to run to the right unless you hit up. And also positioning yourself on the ladders is very difficult because where it looks like you should climb the ladders is not where you should actually climb the ladders. Sod! Yeah, game over. If I got to the second level, which I will try, I'll give it one more go. If you get to the second level, you'll discover something very unusual about it. So let's try and get to the second level. Not to mention the fact that this game just looks incredibly unusual as it is. A, Donkey Kong seems to be standing on the wrong side of the screen. B, Mario, the green hair seems to make Mario look as if he's gone prematurely grey. It asked me if I wanted full color mode, and I said yes. So I'd hate to see what partial color mode looks like. Yeah. And frankly, that Donkey Kong sprite is the most horrendous looking thing I've ever seen. If you look at him... I was at the ladder! You've got to go slightly past the ladder. If you look at him, you will see that he is just... appears to be completely and utterly, like, rabid or something. He looks like a Halloween mask. It's just wrong on so many levels. Every time. Yeah, you have to be slightly past the ladders. So the unusual thing about the second level is that it's actually the fourth level. This version, for whatever reason, leaves out the second and third levels. It can't possibly be because of storage, because the size of this game file is absolutely minuscule. If I jumped over it, how did it hit me? The size of this game file is absolutely minuscule. It's not a problem with disk capacity. Maybe it was because of the 64K of RAM, but the fact that, yeah, this has got such a... just 2 levels from an arcade game that had 4, it's just... the whole affair comes across as really lazy, and I've officially lost my patience with it. So we'll be back in a second with Galaxians. Alright, as promised, we are back with Galaxians! Or Galaxian... whatever. Yeah, so this is Galaxian. It's a nifty conversion, one of my favourites of this lot. But the sound is dreadful. It has the same problem as Donkey Kong, where you will continue to move in a direction unless you hit up, but in a shooter it's a slightly easier problem to deal with, although not to watch me do it. This is the RGB colour mode. I'm about to get a game over, so when I do that I will show you the composite colour mode. I've never been a big Galaxian fan, but as far as a conversion of Galaxian goes, this is pretty much as simple as it gets, short of Space Invaders. So as far as a conversion of Galaxian goes, this isn't bad. And yeah, Atarisoft had a big ad campaign around the idea that they were the official conversions. Like, why would you pay for clones when you can play real conversions by Atari? It's not like they were actually Atari games most of the time. They were pretty much like games like Namco games like this, or Nintendo games like Donkey Kong. I don't quite see why they felt, but they went on about how, they had an whole ad campaign. Now that Atari are making games for your computer, the others don't stand a ghost of a chance. To be frank with you, some of the clones were a lot better than these conversions. But that was more on the other computers, the Commodore 64, the ZX Spectrum, the Apple II. I don't think they actually made any... Atarisoft, I'm pretty sure, didn't make any games for the Atari 800 itself. They made games for all the other systems. I suppose with the Atari 800, they didn't need to quite ram home so much that they were Atari, because they already set it all over the computer you were using. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. So yeah, this is the composite color mode. I think I prefer the RGB with this one. To be honest with you, the droning sound is really starting to give me a headache, so this isn't going to be a very long video. I don't quite know why they felt the need to put that sound in, but there you go. Yeah. Not a bad conversion. It's good pace. It controls alright once you get used to the slightly odd scheme. But yeah, it's let's kill that sound. That's so much better. But yeah, it's not going to be winning any awards, but for 1983, not bad. Give it a go if that's your kind of thing. Of course, I say give it a go, but really this is all academic. These are just curios now. These are... there is no reason you would ever play these conversions unless you were like me and were into this sort of retro. Like, I mean, it's old conversions of even older games. I find that oddly appealing, but pretty much there's no reason why you couldn't play this on Namco Museum or any number of other conversions it's had over the years that are far superior. This is really just a curio now. But as far as curios go, and if you want something for your DOS PC, like, if you've got yourself a retro gaming PC, or if you're fiddling around with DOSBox, it's an interesting piece of software to look at. If you like shooters, you could do a lot worse. Yeah, there's not a lot to it, but then again, there wasn't a lot to the arcade game that it's based on, and that's been an eternal classic. So there you go. So this is Galaxian, and yeah, it's still oddly hypnotic, and much better with the sound off. Alright, this will be bringing back memories for people of a certain age. This is Dig Dug. If you don't know what Dig Dug is, well, it's Dig Dug. You're about to find out, pretty much. I do have a joystick, but I cannot get it to work with this game, so I'm really not sure what's going on with that. But, whew. When they made the ad-lib sound card, it was a revolution, and frankly, there's a reason for that. Because this PC speaker, which was what preceded it, was dreadful. So in Dig Dug, you run around underground and try to pump enemies up with basically a bicycle pump. One escaped there. You want to avoid that if possible. Oh, shoot. No, face down! I was... this is not going well. That's better. It's a bit grisly, to be honest with you, but, you can't have it all your own way. Okay, I'm gonna try that again, because that was pretty pathetic. Okay, one player. As conversions go, this isn't bad. I've played worse. I've played worse this afternoon. Let's get this sod before he makes a break for the surface again. You can sort of shoot through thin walls to a point, but not always. Get him, get him, get him, get him! No, he's too far away! Oh no, he's getting away! I'll never catch him now. Yeah, no. They get the jump on you and then they're off. You can also, let me see if I can get a rock fall going. Yeah, that's a rock fall. If you're competent, unlike me, you can use that to crush enemies. I got so engaged with trying to crush the enemies that I got myself killed. The Ah! I don't know what happened there. Got him. If you can get him through the wall, that's usually preferable. Okay, one more. He's gonna get away. I'm not gonna catch him. Get back here, you little sod. No, 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 no! No! Oh, he stopped. He stopped to breathe some fire, and that was his last mistake. So yeah, this conversion's excellent. There was a game called Digger for the CGA IBM PC, which is actually very good. But this isn't bad. If I can't hit him, he really shouldn't be allowed to hit me, I think. Alright, we'll give that one more go, because I do quite like Dig Dug. I wonder if there's a way to turn the sound off, however. Yeah, so, shit! Oh, but I got him after I died. That's how you drop rocks on people, but usually if you're competent, you won't get yourself killed in the process. Oh, no, no, no! So yeah, as I said, this is actually quite a competent conversion, especially by the standards that we've seen so far. It's well done, it's true to the arcade in graphics and gameplay. Obviously the sound is dreadful, but you can't have it all. So that's Dig Dug. Very quick look at that one, and up next we're... Okay, so as promised, we're at Ms. PacMan now. I just want to check that I've got joystick enabled. I do. This one, the joystick does seem to work with all right. I can't work out what it is that makes some of them work with the joystick and some of them not. None of them work with the quick shot, as I said, because as it turns out, that's busted. But yeah, it's a quirk that some of them will work with the thumbsticks on a gamepad and some will not. It's just, you know, one of those odd things. Let's go composite, because I haven't tried it with composite monitor yet. See, this is what you can do with composite monitor done right. As you can see, a color palette much truer to the arcade than anything we've seen thus far. You sacrifice a little bit of clarity, but my god, this looks so much better. The trick to composite color is it's got to do with if you put certain colored pixels next to each other, they come out as different colors. Basically, it's an old graphics trick, but very effective in this case. So yeah, you see we get the lovely orange maze of the arcade and the a nice bright yellow Ms. PacMan, as she should be, rather than the dull brown that we had in the original game conversion. Quick! Get up here to the power pellet and I should be able to clear out the rest of this maze. So I've got to say, straight off the bat, this is a far superior conversion compared to the Atarisoft conversion of the original. Oh, I'm stuffed. Oh, I'm really stuffed. I always do that in Pac-Man. I get myself trapped in corners. Oh, I thought there was a ghost missing there for a sec, but no, he was just hiding. There was a conversion of Junior Pac-Man as well to PC. I always quite like Junior Pac-Man. It's a little different. There was a conversion of that to PC, but it was not handled by Atarisoft. I don't know if that was because Midway told them to get stuffed by that point and decided to do the conversion themselves or what. I haven't got that one yet, but it's something I want to have a look at some point. I've always had a soft spot for Pac-Man, but I've never been able to play it very effectively. It's just not something I've ever been any good at. There's a lot of games that are like that, of course. But, yeah. So this is a great conversion, and I love what it does with the fact that A, the mazes change, and B, the composite graphics are really well used to create this look and a much more fateful version. And this is even, they went to the trouble of putting the cutscenes from the arcade game in, which is really cool. And as you can see, we've even now got another color maze. So yeah, this is really nifty. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Run away! No, run away! What is that meant to be, a lemon? Are you kidding me? We're only in level 3 and I barely had any time to eat those ghosts. It's a very noisy lemon. Game over. Oh well, so yeah, that's Ms. PacMan. As you can see, this is one of the best conversions that Atarisoft did. It's absolutely gorgeous. The sound is even pretty close to the arcade game. The graphics are great. The composite deserves special mention. It just all looks really nice and plays really well. If I had this for my PC back in the day, especially back in the early 80s before I was born, this is a very impressive conversion. So, yeah. I might keep playing this for a little bit, but I'll leave you here, and when we come back, we'll have a look at another Atarisoft title. Alright, talk about your classics. This is Centipede. This one's a game by Atari themselves, actually. Used a trackball originally. This is another one I've had luck with regards to the joystick, so I'll be playing with the joystick. Centipede is a pretty simplistic shooter. You have slight freedom of movement up at the base of the screen, but largely it's just side to side. And yeah, you've got to shoot the centipede before it reaches the bottom. You can still shoot it while it's at the bottom, but you've got to maneuver. Or you can just let it run into you. That's what I do. Yeah. Really good conversion. Looks quite nice. Color palette's not great, but you can't do much about that. It's lightning fast. You could try and play it with a keyboard, but I wouldn't recommend it. Absolutely terrible keyboard control. It's just too fast. What actually does have a surprisingly good conversion is the Game Boy. Accolade converted Centipede and Millipede to the Game Boy. It's a very good port for something with digital-only controls, but I cannot emphasize enough that you must have some kind of analog control for this game or you will go crazy. The spiders are worth more points the closer to the bottom you shoot them, but on the other hand, the closer to the bottom they are, the more likely you're going to get hit. Like that. Centipede, great game. Not very good at it. I know I say that a lot, because it's true. I've barely even hit the centipede. Did I hit it? I've hit it once. The more bits the centipede splits up into, the harder it is to hit, but pretty much the more times you hit it, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, so that's Centipede. Good game. I'll give it one more go. Very twitchy, very hard to do successfully, but fun for what it is. Very fast, given the hardware it was on. Yeah, beneath its simple looks, there lives quite a fun game. But the noise of the bouncing spiders is just terrible. Eek, 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 down, 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 down. Uh-oh. Oh, now I'm in trouble. Got him. And we've switched pallets. That's a nifty trick. You can switch pallets mid-game. That all my lives? No, one more, but I'm back to the... No, I'm back in the good palette. So this is actually the magenta palette I was talking about. Because, yeah, the colour you see the most of in it is definitely magenta. The first game I ever saw this palette in was Arctic Adventure by Apogee. And sweet Jesus, is that game hard on the eyes. Especially as I'd never seen anything quite like it before. I think that's probably game over. Yep, game over. Alrighty, so that was Centipede. One more game, and then we'll call it a video, I think. So stick with me, and I'll be right back with one last title. And here we are with our last game of the day. This is Robotron 2084, converted to the PC by Atarisoft in 1983. Oh, wow. Quite why they felt the need to make that typing audible, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, so this is the whole plot. The Robotrons have taken over the world. You've got to protect the last living family on Earth. Go joystick, because this one works with joystick, but you can only fire in the direction you're facing. There's no really good control method for this, I've got to say. I've tried it with both joystick and keyboard, and the keyboard tries to emulate the twin stick interface with 16 keys. So one group of keys for movement, one group of keys for shooting, but it doesn't really work. However, the joystick also has the problem that I've had with several other Atarisoft games and joystick conversions, which is that your character seems to have a mind of his own half the time. Yeah, so this is not a bad conversion by any means, but I wouldn't be racing out to get it. Of course, you've got to look at all these, and I mean, I know I've been quite harsh, but you've got to look at all these in the context of the time at which they were released, as I've said before. And for that, it's pretty good. I can see a lot of people having been really happy to have, you know, something so similar to the arcade machine in their home, even though we know it doesn't really look anything like the arcade machine. But yeah, that wasn't really the point. So that's Robotron 2084. I won't go too far into that because this video has gone for quite a while already. But yeah, so that's oh, stop that noise. That's sorry, I am just going to kill that sound. That is Atarisoft's PC range on IBM DOS PCs. Hope you've enjoyed this look at those games. And yeah, just some nifty little curios from back in the day. Until next time, keep on playing it loud. I'm Braden, and we'll be back with more videos this week. Have a good one, and keep playing it loud.